What I'm about to tell you might shake something deep inside you. There are two things, only two, that silently and completely destroy your value in front of a man. They don't happen overnight. They creep in quietly, starting small and invisible, until one day you wake up and realize the energy that once made him chase you has disappeared. He doesn't look at you the same way, doesn't hear you the same way, and worst of all, doesn't feel you the same way. But once you understand why these two things kill your value, you can stop them or even reverse them. This isn't about playing hard to get or following dating rules. It's about understanding the psychology that governs attraction and respect. Albert Einstein once said, "You can't solve a problem with the same mindset that created it. The same mindset that causes women to lose their value is often the one they use to try to fix it." They explain more, give more, prove more. But the moment you start proving your worth, you've already lost it. Needing to be understood kills your value. When you find yourself explaining your emotions, your intentions, your loyalty over and over again, you're trading your power for validation. Men don't fall for what they understand. They fall for what they feel. A man doesn't need to understand you to value you. He needs to feel your energy, your silence, your boundaries, your absence. Every time you try to convince him of your worth through words, you lower your emotional frequency. You step out of your magnetism and into pursuit, and he instinctively pulls away. The more you try to make him see you, the less he looks. Masculine energy values mystery, not explanation. Men are drawn to what they can't fully define. It's uncertainty that holds their attention. Einstein once said, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious." And he was right, even in love. When you make yourself predictable and emotionally transparent, you remove the very tension that fuels attraction. What's fully known loses its wonder. The woman who says less but moves with quiet confidence becomes unforgettable. Her silence carries more weight than explanation ever could. Your energy should speak before your words do. When he disrespects you, silence speaks louder than confrontation. When he forgets your worth, distance speaks louder than apology. Feminine power isn't about being understood, it's about letting him feel the consequence of not trying to. The moment you explain too much, you aren't communicating, you're pleading. And pleading is emotional debt. It signals, "I need your validation to believe in myself." The moment you need it, it loses value. Confident women are magnetic, not because they're prettier or smarter, but because they never beg to be understood. They move on with quiet grace, and that grace is power. Every time you chase clarity, you lose mystery. Every time you explain yourself, you lose authority. Respect begins where explanation ends. The second destroyer of value is losing emotional control. This is the one that turns queens into beggars. When you lose control through overreactions, jealousy, or emotional outbursts, you send one message: "I don't trust myself," and if you don't trust yourself, he won't either. Masculine energy is instinctively drawn to emotional stability because stability equals safety. The moment he senses chaos, he stops seeing you as peace and starts seeing you as a test. Men don't stay where they feel tested. They stay where they feel inspired. Emotional control isn't about being cold. It's about being anchored. It's feeling deeply without letting emotions dictate your behavior. When a man says something hurtful and you don't react, you show emotional maturity. You silently say, "I choose my response. You don't control my energy." That's feminine dominance, not through aggression, but composure. The calmest person in the room holds the most power because energy obeys stability. When you lose control crying to prove pain, arguing to prove your point, you become predictable, and predictable emotion kills attraction. When he knows exactly how you'll react, he stops being fascinated and starts feeling superior. The moment a man feels superior to your emotions, he loses emotional respect for you. That's why he pulls away after a fight, even when he's wrong. Chaos drains attraction. But when you handle disrespect with distance instead of drama, the power shifts. He replays your silence, questions your thoughts, and begins to feel the weight of losing your calm presence. Emotional control isn't suppression, it's strategy. It's knowing that care doesn't require chaos. The woman who stays centered when everything around her is falling apart becomes unforgettable. Her composure becomes her mystery. Her silence, her strength, her restraint, his obsession. These two destroyers, needing to be understood and losing emotional control, are deeply connected. Einstein once said, "Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it." Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. When you need to be understood, you send out the frequency of need. When you lose control, you send out instability. And energy never lies. You can't act powerful if your vibration is begging. You can't claim peace while your emotions explode. Both the universe and the man in front of you read your energy before they ever hear your words. That's why two women can walk into the same room. One gets attention without saying a word. The other talks endlessly, but feels invisible. The difference isn't beauty, it's energy. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. When you're calm, grounded, and mysterious, you resonate at the frequency of value. And value never chases, it attracts.